Wow, skipping is a part of keeping fit for the rally, because people just think you just get into the driver's seat and drive, but you have to be fit. And that is where I caught up with Jeremy Wahome doing some exercises at home. I will be talking to him later. Jeremy, let's go. Let's see if I can do it. Now, Emma.
The Formula 3 Championship, where Jeremy Wahome made his name across Asia and Britain as he underwent his studies.
That was in 2015. That was the Formula BMW Asia Cup Series. So basically what that was, it's like a championship / training program. It's equivalent, let's say, to Formula 4, but it's just branded BMW. So what happens is they get loads of drivers from around the world and they train them in one team, but at the end of that, you now compete against each other. So it removes the element of team competition and just focuses solely on the drivers. So in that, I managed to come away with 3 podiums, where I finished second twice and third once. And in those races where I finished on the podium, I was the best rookie driver. So the guy who won had already been racing somewhere else previously. Yeah, I was doing Formula 3. I've done it in 2 different forms in the UK, which was known as the British Formula 3 Championship, and then also that was in 2016 and 2017. Then also in Asia, I did the Asian Formula 3 Championship. So in that one, we were now racing between China, Malaysia. Other championship iterations had Thailand and Japan, stuff like that. So I basically I started go-karting in Kenya. That's usually where most people in motorsport start racing from. Then from there on, as my interest for the sport developed, I started trying to find ways to move up the motorsport ladder and eventually get to Formula 1. So it's a journey that started from when I was 8 in 2009, around there, all the way till now, and I'm 22 years old.
Can you follow the helicopter?
The World Rally Championship, where he will be making his debut in the Safari Rally in Kenya under the FIA Rally Star team.
The rally program was an interesting opportunity that came by. So for me, it was a door that presented itself and opened it and opened. So it was a no-brainer actually to just. Okay, it wasn't a no-brainer. Initially, I was a bit not resistant, but I was wondering whether I'll have to give up the Formula 1 or not. And to some extent, yes, rallying will take a lot of focus, but I don't want to close any doors. I just want to put my best foot forward. And you never know what will lead to what in the future. Just the same way my results in Formula 3 led to an opportunity in rallying, it's very easy for the reverse to come about. But right now, I'm not too fixated on any direction.
Okay.
It's quite nice and rewarding. Motorsport's quite an expensive journey, and throughout my journey, it's been personally funded and supported through my family. So it's nice to now have a program that now supports young drivers. I'm no longer kind of going on my own. I now have a team that will be helping me. We have sponsors coming on board. So it's really exciting to now have a full team who have the same ambitions to push us to have a Kenyan driver in worldwide motorsport.
There are 2 different motorsport events, but are closely related, where Jeremy looks forward to a smooth transition.
In terms of the speed, you'll actually find that, relatively speaking, even if the speeds may be slower in rally, things are actually happening very quickly. So it can also give you the impression you don't have much time to react. So whether you're going at 60 or 150, if you have a very short time to react, it still feels very quick. So that factor will still be there. But in terms of getting used, I'm still waiting for my first driving experience to actually drive a rally car. Hopefully before the rally, the week coming up to the rally. But at the end of the day, when it comes to motorsport, you're using the skills you have in your footwork application, your steering wheel. There's various techniques you use. So I'm hoping that I can carry what I learned in Formula 3 and Formula 4 and now transfer it to rallying, because it's the same concept. You're just now manipulating the car in a different way. In Formula 3, you don't slide the car, but in rallying, you have to slide the car to get it rotated. So there's some transferable skills, and that's what I'm looking for, to see how much I can carry forward.
At least he's got the experience of Victor Okundi to guide him to the finish.
Kundi will be my navigator. He's been in the rally stage for quite some time, both as a driver and navigator. So he's the one who will be helping me take part in my first rally, and yeah, through his experience and his resourcefulness, he'll be able to tell me, you can drive faster here, be careful here, watch out for this in a rally. And it's a really long rally, so there'll be a lot of you have to keep a cool head and not get ahead of yourself and try competing with the other guys. Just get experience, get familiar. Maybe now, once we get to Saturday and Sunday, I can start to push myself a bit more.
He started off in the go-karting circuit before he left for his studies, where he graduated with a degree in economics.
My dad tells me that I don't recollect, but he tells me that I wanted to do motocross, but then as a parent it was very dangerous because you fall off the bike, it's you. But he had some friends whose sons were racing, so that's how he got me into the sport. Like, yeah, just try a go-kart, see how it goes. I don't think he knew it would get this far, or that and maybe when he was introducing me, he was like, yeah, it's just a hobby. But then as I began to like it, and he did support me the whole way, it now became a dream and an ambition that he also came on board with me to try and make it to race abroad on the world stage. When I was racing in go-karting in Nakuru, everyone used to say that the rally used to pass by there, so that's when I started hearing about the rally. But I never went to watch rallies in that sense. Maybe just a few in the early 2010s there with some uncles and family of mine, but it's always somewhere there in the background. But I never actively followed it that much, honestly, because I was more so looking towards Formula One and watching guys like Lewis Hamilton and stuff like that. But then as I've gotten older and more involved in all forms of motorsport, I now pick up different things here and there. So for me, it's exciting to be part of the rally after the 19-year break. So that's quite a cool opportunity for me.
The academically gifted 22-year-old is all aware he's headed for a different ballgame, but his approach is clear.
I'm sure it's going to be a very professional approach because it's basically bringing the standard of racing in Europe to Kenya. And then also from my experience of racing in Formula 3 and Formula 4 in Europe, where they call the UK the home of motorsport. So everyone there is very thorough in all their dealings. So I'll also hope to be able to bring in some of the things I've learned, whether it's technical feedback, analysis, because they'll actually be looking for us drivers to give back feedback on how the cars are behaving, because these are cars that they're going to be rolling out in the rest of the world. So we have a unique opportunity to be the benchmark and give good feedback for how the car behaves.
The youngest competitor in the Safari Rally, Jeremy Wahome, has certainly proved himself in the Formula 3 Championship and hopes it will rub on in the World Rally Championship, where will not just be there to make up the numbers, but prove that he's capable of competing among the best home and away, starting with the Safari Rally, where his sister Maxine will also be making her debut.
It's a completely new venture that I've never taken part in, so first few days, it's a very long rally. In total, between the transport and competition stages, it will be 1,000 kilometers. So over the 3 days, the first and the most important thing is to say that I've finished and I've completed my first Safari Rally. But on top of that, I also don't want to drive pedestrian just to get to the finish line. So hopefully, from my experience, I'll be able to gauge just how much I can push myself and how early I can start to make strides. And hopefully, by the end of the rally, I'll have moved up from my seeding, because I think I'm starting 53rd, because I've never driven a rally before. So hopefully gain some places on that and maybe end up in the mid pack.